if you're either of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want to continue to keep beating Team Solomid just because of revenge for last season. I mean, they already got the Unified Championship win. They got the regular season win against them in Week 1, but that's not enough. It's these two teams, they're very prideful, and they want to be able to say that they took down the other one. And so I expect a fairly meta-focused draft. Obviously, Old School loves playing this Vox regardless of what the meta is. That's a Cloud9 meta pick, essentially.
The Vox coming out for Cloud9, like you said, it is a meta because Old School is just so incredibly strong on that pick. The lance band coming from TSM, that's extremely smart. I was just about to say C9 will probably pick that so that they can also combine it possibly with a Fortress last pick. Arden is most likely going to be the captain to come out. If they don't want to go for it, they still have the Finn, they still have the Lyra, or perhaps even pick the Cruel for I Love Joseph and secure it and take it away from Von C. Grace coming out for TSM already though as the first pick. That's going to be obviously a really well-rounded pick that you can put into many different compositions. Rhyme picked up for C9.
Yeah, this Rhyme has been sneaking into the meta to a point where he's starting to become a stable first pick jungler, honestly. There's very little been banned out from the jungle, obviously to an extent Petal, but I feel like that's more of a laner now than it ever is a jungle at the moment. So this Rhyme pick is starting to become much less of a fringe pick and very much just a I'm more than comfortable grabbing this.
Yeah, it's the pick rate on the Rhyme has definitely been rapidly increasing, but how about this draft from Team Solomid? Very quick in locking in that Kroll and then the Celeste. So this is very similar to kind of what we've been seeing from a lot of the European teams of having the Grace or Arden in a lot of them with the Kroll as the front line, the big bruisers, and then the Celeste hypercarry. But Cloud9 once again going to be going with this Fortress Vox duo of just trying to get those stacks built up of the bleed and getting those huge percent health procs, especially onto a target like Kroll.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising to see the Fortress actually still come out in the capture role this time. Vox and C9 are going to have to play really aggressive to try and snowball, because once Von C and TSM get to late game, especially with Celeste, they're going to be able to out team fight C9 because of the range advantage that they have, especially if they can kite away. So it's on C9 to get ahead early on.
Yeah, it's on C9 to be proactive, but that is something that these guys specialize in. I'm very excited to see how this one is going to pan out. Obviously, Best Chuck going to be on that Celeste. We said he's the guy to watch, and he's going to be a huge factor for TSM. Hashtag Vainglory8. Are you a TSM fan? Are you a Cloud9 fan? Let us know. But it's time to jump on into the first game of our first semi-final of North America.
Thank you very much, Munchables. TSM versus Cloud9. These names and the names of the players go way, way back in Vainglory, and it's names we've all come to know and love. They're going to face each other on the fold now. This is going to be a tough one for TSM. Cloud9 looking crazy dominant right now, Denominate.
Oh, they absolutely have been. Obviously winning weeks back-to-back, especially after winning the back-to-back championships as well. This Cloud9 roster has to be feeling pretty confident. They took down TSM already this season. I don't... Unless if Flash is right and Von C and Best Chuck have really stepped up their practice, then I can see C9 still being dominant here.
Well, it's going to be a test for TSM coming into it. They had some close games versus Gangstars, like they were talking about on the desk. And you got to say, Gangstars sitting at 0 points, you'd have thought TSM would kind of walk all over them. Cloud9, their dominant fashion going for this Elder Trient. It will get taken away, but it will get taken away by Cloud9 in the end. And we'll go over to Joseph. Very aggressive early start to the game. But Fortress is actually something we haven't actually seen a lot of, Denominate.
Well, at least not in the captain position. We have seen several teams pull it out in that jungler position several times, often going the tension bow aftershock route. But, Gabe Vizzle, obviously, we've seen him pull out that captain Sky and make it work. So, obviously, Fortress, I think, is well within his realm of capabilities. There's even a time when Old School used to, I was looking at Old School. Gabe Vizzle used to play some Captain Vox, and that was a pretty interesting day and time. But overall, both teams just trying to get their farm up at this point. They both have kind of later game power spikes. Obviously, that Vox, once he gets to that second, third item, he'll start taking off. And same with the Celeste, but a little bit more towards that third and fourth item. So I think C9 will come on a little bit sooner, especially with the Fortress giving that extra bleed proc.
Ooh. FlashX went to go to a little bit aggressive there, but Best Chuck actually took the wrong end of a trade. Speaking about trading, in fact, small trade happening into the lower left here. Nice holding over onto two members, Gabe Vizzle and Joseph, trying to cut away from Von C. Those beautiful pillars are coming through. Von C trying to chase Joseph. The smite stacks are there. The Rhyme is going to use the boost to get away. FlashX using his equally. Old School is going to come through. That Holy Nova wasn't enough to save his life, and FlashX will go down for first blood.
Yeah, beautiful rotation out of Old School there, and I think C9 is going to be able to stop Von C. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Von C will pull some fancy footwork.
Oh! He went down. Old School goes down in the lane. Best Chuck and A chases him up with the boot usage, and I think a minion just last hit him there.
Yeah, now Von C's on Gabe Vizzle. Shouldn't be enough to kill him, but just enough to force him back. And now Von C gonna look to try to get some enemy rotation here, as that's what Joseph has been doing. Joseph has been in the TSM jungle, taking away that CS, and now Flash in a bad spot again.
Oh man, only level 3 as well against Joseph, who's level 4. They're going to run him down, and the Holy Nova wasn't enough to save his life once more. Gabe Vizzle will secure himself a kill. Cloud9 at the moment, 2 kills up over the 1 of TSM.
Yeah, and Grace not quite as fast as she once was, and that's going to be another Elder Treant now going over to Cloud9 that will go in the pocket of Joseph. Already level 5, working towards level 6. That Valkyrie is going to be online in no time at all. While we look over at Von C, and he's struggling at this point to get to level 5, so we can really see that advantage here in the jungle so far. 1k gold lead for the side of Cloud9. The Poison Shiv has now been picked up by Old School, and I think this is a really good item in the circumstance that they're in. Obviously, we have the Divine Intervention coming out of Grace, the Fountain, as well as Krull has Sustain built into his kit, and as Best Chuck gets to his Eve of Harvest, which he now has online, will also reduce the healing from that as well. So Old School, this first item, Poison Shiv, is really effective into everybody on the roster of TSM right now.
That it is, and with Gabe Vizzle applying those mortal wounds as well from Attack of the Pack, it's going to be fairly hard for them to actually heal up in these team fights. But FlashX, knowing this, can obviously play around it if necessary, but they're going to want to jump on one target, and it will be Best Chuck and A, who has really started to come alive on this Celeste pick over the coming weeks. Beautiful triple Holy Nova there from FlashX, will stop Cloud9 in their tracks for the time being. But with Best Chuck, he's nearing that level 6 mark, and with the Eve of Harvest, it's going to be very easy for him to sustain in the lane, both health and energy. Clearing the waves is going to be no problem for him.
Yeah, definitely not, and obviously will help him sustain here as well. He will be working into probably the Frostburn second item, I would assume. That's going to give him a significant amount of additional damage, as well as give his team a little bit of additional slow, so that utility coming through as well. Von C almost level 6 finally, but Joseph already hitting the level 7 mark. From Hell's Heart will be online soon, but obviously the level advantage that Joseph has right now could be a commanding difference in the next fight. Best Chuck has just hit level 6 as well, so Solar Storm will be available. This is gonna be a very interesting game going forward. The Celeste is good into the Rhyme, but Joseph is so far ahead right now.
That he is. Level 6 mark, like you mentioned. Level 6.5. Von C only just hitting level 6 now, so he's going to rotate the walk towards the lane. You can imagine from Hell's Heart being available, that is. Now with Joseph, he's level 7 now. It's okay, so he was 6.5 a second ago, now he's level 7. Oh wait, no, that was just me misreading Denominate, no worries. Shadowglass actually on the side of him as well, so he's really starting to hit these power spikes fairly early on. Like you said, that early kill not only bolstered his ability to engage the team fights, but his damage is going to be something FlashX and Best Chuck can have to be very careful of. Von C moving towards them, however he does have a power spike of his own in that tension bow, but does get spotted out by a flare.
Yeah, and realistically, Von C is going to be just trying to either shut down Old School or I Love Joseph as these fights goes on. Those Spectral Smite stacks will reduce the outgoing damage of the members of Cloud9. So if he could even alternate in the middle of a fight, if it's set up that way, he might even be able to reduce the damage of Old School and I Love Joseph. Now, in most cases, that's not going to be a plausible cause, but we'll have to see going forward, as Best Chuck is trying to do his best getting this lane pushed up as Cloud9 has rotated, but with the Eve of Harvest first, not really going to have the damage to get a whole lot done here.
This is what I like to see from Joseph. Really aggressive early jungler, has picked himself up an infusion already. Denomine. So he's going to pack a punch in these fights. TSM now know this, and they have to play around it as well. Do they wait for the infusion to wear off? But it looks like Vonsi actually decided, no, we are not. We are going to pick up our own infusion, and then we'll look for a fight instead.
Yeah, and Joseph at level 8 with that infusion, like you mentioned, got the Winter Spire overdriven. That's going to give him a lot more damage, but Gavizzle taking a lot as well.
Gavizzle was going very low, but that beautiful silence came through. Vainglory as well didn't quite land, but that wait for it from Old School was absolutely beautiful. Von C couldn't get his claws on Gavizzle, and that'll be another kill going over to Cloud9. Double Holy Nova come through for Flash X, but that turret will end up falling as well.
Yeah, and that is a big advantage now for the side of Cloud9. They have the gold lead, as well as they obviously have that positional advantage that's so much further back now that TSM has to run to safety if they get in that situation. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Cloud9 didn't turn their attention onto the gold mine at that point. But Old School and Joseph are instead just going to go ahead and share some ambience here in the back of the jungle. Again, trying to get these carries both online. Their builds are going to be significantly more expensive than the captains. So, you know, getting the damage online, usually a better trade-off. And Gavizzle with this Crucible now online, going to be looking to probably help his team block up either that From Hell's Heart or a good Holy Nova coming out of Flash X.
Sharing is caring. Oh, wow. Heliogenesis are starting to rack up, though. Best Chuck is at that level 8 mark, so overdriven Heliogenesis. So that range increase will make Cloud9 just step back and think twice, but not thinking twice. Gavizzle is going in. Beautiful core collapse on Joseph. Wait for it's going to come through. That massive From Hell's Heart's going to boomerang straight back, but it's going to get blocked by Old School. Still trying to move away, but Von C is just going to chase him down, and now it's all up to Joseph in the back line. Gets core collapse, and that'll be Von C with a double kill.
Yeah, but unfortunately for the side of TSM, they find a great fight, but Best Chuck is very low on energy, so they may or may not be able to get this turret. It's going to be close. Well, I guess he has the Phosphorus online, he's going to be able to get it. But, you know, Kroll down here, Von C starting up this gold mine. TSM not looking to give this one up easy, but here comes Gavizzle, and now this is a rough spot for TSM to be in.
Go on, Gabe, do it. Nope, doesn't manage to get it. Von C, very hard to smite away. Oh, get smited away by Von C. It's going to be very easy for him to secure these neutral objectives. Cloud9 now pushing through TSM's jungle. They are going to take that healing camp, but Von C will secure it in the end. And in fact, they're just going to give up a Crystal Sentry here. There's only 2 members of Cloud9, with Joseph only just making it towards them. Gave that one up more or less for free there.
Yeah, it's really rough, and you know, these teams, obviously the 2 teams that are what I would consider at the top, at least when TSM is performing their best. So, you know, Flash mentioned that Chuck and Von C have been practicing more, they've been practicing harder, and obviously Best Chuck taking in some of that responsibility of helping out with the draft as well. They looked really good yesterday. Obviously, Gangstars put up a beautiful performance as well. But TSM, you know, up against Cloud9 right now, you know, we're turret for turret with dead even gold, dead even kills. This is the TSM I hope to see for the rest of this tournament.
I mean, if you look back to their week 1 performance against Cloud9 in the finals, you got to say Cloud9 kind of walked all over TSM. It was a pretty easy feat for them. TSM didn't really seem to know what they were doing, not in terms of meta, but Cloud9 just seemed to have the upper edge of the game, like consistently. It was quite scary. That's pretty scary there as well. A Solar Storm hitting your back line. Goldtool's going to go really low, has to use those boots to get away. That healing tree will actually get taken by him, but Flash X is going to be able to chase him down. Goes Chuck on there with a Heliogenesis to finish him off. Cloud9 getting punished now for their over-aggression in TSM's jungle.
Yeah, it was a From Hell's Heart that landed onto Old School, locked him up in that Solar Storm, but the aggression's not
still going to go for it. Joseph is going to have to make his way out of there. They do end up surrendering the Crystal Sentry, it seems. They did want to go for a little fight, but Best Chuck's damage right now, especially with that Frostburn, is just packing a little bit too much of a punch. In fact, it's just going to snipe away Joseph. That just hit him dead on the center of the head. Ends up falling. Old School only just respawning. Does manage to get back to the turret in time to save Gavizzle. But TSM, they take the Crystal Sentry, and this is exactly what Cloud9 did not 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, and this is looking like TSM getting closer and closer to being in a comfortable lead. Best Shock has that clockwork online, so now he'll be able to spam those Helios all the easier. And obviously those core collapses and Solar Storm will be on sooner and sooner. So that is a huge spike now for Best Chuck, getting into some Pierce for his next partial item is where he's really going to start to get the damage. And he's not that far away from the Broken Myth, realistically. Only about 800 gold at this point, Jaws. So overall, Best Chuck got to be feeling pretty comfortable. He's 3-0-2 right now. His positioning has been immaculate. You know, the kills that did go down for TSM, you know, it was Flash getting caught out a couple in the early game, and losing out on your captain, that's a much better trade-off. So now, Best Chuck working into that Broken Myth, he is going to make it just a world of difference for Joseph to try to be getting onto that back line to lock him down. Those Helios going to rain down. And anytime you really outrange a Rhymes, you're in a good spot. Here they go on the Crystal Sentry, going to take it for free.
TSM are moving to flank though, and you can see Von C in that item shop brush has picked up an infusion. Gabe Vizzle comes in. There's the From Hell's High, is going to get blocked. In fact, Old School is going to get chased out though. Perfect positioning. Valkyrie doesn't even hit him. He's just chasing him out. Old School had nowhere to go. The whole of the rest of Cloud9 were just too distracted with trying to take out, I think it was Best Chuck. They end up taking out Joseph as well. Gabe Vizzle now on the run. Von C comes up absolutely massive, isolating the carry and picking him off when he's most vulnerable.
Yeah, and now it's Best Chuck pushing the lane here, and obviously this Celeste at the point in the build he is able to take down this turret incredibly quickly. It's absolutely insane that Chuck was able to survive that last fight, but we saw how separated Old School got, and Von C just chased him down, was able to pick up the fight, the Divine Intervention keeping Best Chuck alive, and TSM looking absolutely amazing right now, taking another Sentry, Jaws. And, you know, all that's left for Best Chuck here is get, you know, a tier 2 boots, as well as work into probably an Aegis, I would think. I mean, Old School is probably the bigger damage threat, but, you know, getting that block online is absolutely huge as well. So, you know, obviously Celeste does not want to get locked up. Can possibly... Oh, hold on, Old School gets hit.
Nice from Hell's Heartland, straight onto Old School. Ends up falling. TSM yet again land another crucial ultimate, and Von C will end up securing the kill. 5-1. 5-1 Denominate, and 4-0-4 on Best Chuck and A. He has not only popped off on Celeste in the later weeks, he's continuing this, and it's kind of scary. He's at that point of the game now with this Broken Myth. If he gets anywhere near Cloud9, they will just explode. There's not too much resistances at all for them right now. There's no Aegis for Gabe Vizzle, there's no Aegis for Joseph, they've got no defensive itemization whatsoever. Old School with the only real bit of shielding in his inventory. Right now, they're just instantly getting killed off.
Yeah, and now that Flash has that echo for the Divine Intervention, it's going to be all the easier for Best Chuck to survive in these fights. Or if it's Von C taking the damage going in on that front line, obviously Flash will be able to heal him up as well. And that healing, packed with the additional damage reduction that it provides, as well as the barrier that Von C can provide himself, that's a scary front line to be thinking of. And now TSM might be looking for a fight here, Joss.
Might just be. Von C has got that level 2 ultimate now, I believe. Just trying to find it on my screen. Just got a little lost there. I was actually looking at Gabe Vizzle instead, thinking, hang on a minute, that's a different portrait. Von C now looking around. However, they are just going to kite them. See, this is what Von C did earlier. Split up Cloud9. However, Old School is just going to get that blocked completely. Gabe Vizzle actually gets stunned up. Beautiful Holy Nova will just sentence him to death. Best Chuck and A kept alive by the Divine Intervention, but finally goes down to Joseph in the end. Gabe Vizzle secures the kill, but they still got to deal with Von C. Has to use those boots to get away, and that'll be Gabe Vizzle separating from the pack as well. Cloud9, they're still in dire straits. Health bar's blinking, and Von C is just chasing them up.
Yeah, Von C looking for more. Obviously, Joseph very low on health. Will they find it though, Jaws?
Might just find it, although now that Turret is taking a big chunk out of Flash X, they're just chasing Flash X down. Von C determined to make sure he doesn't end up going down. Joseph still following this one up. Gabe Vizzle and himself. Not too much energy, but Von C neither much health. Old School is coming forward as well. Solar Storm is going to hit Gabe Vizzle narrowly, not just one-shotting. Valkyrie has come down as well for Joseph. Does end up missing it slightly. Old School is in the fray. From Hell's Heart does hit. Wait for it comes out. Just missed completely. Best Chuck NA is now in the fray. away. Cloud9 blinking health bars all around, but Old School, they are going to be able to secure the kill on Von C. Divine Intervention keeps Best Chuck alive for now. No ultimate to find them just yet. No boots to use either. Cloud9 will walk away after losing their carry.
They might be able to walk away. Chuck is looking for more, and if Chuck gets this treant here, there's no reason that he can't get out. And now it's Joseph coming in.
They're just going to jump on Best Chuck. Nice. Holy Nova comes out right at the end. Oh my goodness, Flash X is on fire. Gabe Vizzle's going to get chased down. Frostburn, although the Crystal Sentry is going to be there, does get knocked up in the end, and Gabe Vizzle does end up falling. That's an ace for TSM, and we're cracking on the board. I know exactly what they're going to start.
Absolutely, and Celeste takes this Kraken so quickly. I don't even think Old School is going to be able to make it in time to contest. And if he does, with the death timers of his team, it would be a very, very detrimental death for him, as Von C obviously coming over to join his team from Hell's Heart is available. So, yep, that's going to be a free Kraken going over to the side of TSM. And with only 3 turrets standing between them and a victory, the Celeste with 4 offensive items and a level 12 Crystal Infusion, TSM could look to end the game here if they're able to get a kill onto Old School or Joseph early on.
Cracking down, marching down the lane now. Infusions across the board for both sides. All up to Joseph, really, to kind of carry these fights. Old School's been the target more often than not of Von C and Best Chuck. He is 0-7. Not a scoreline you'd really associate, Joseph, with Old School, in all honesty. But TSM really coming back with a vengeance, proving and making sure everybody's aware that they are still a top contender in North America.
Yeah, they definitely are. Choke point turret is down, and now TSM looking to keep the aggression up. Cloud9, however, does have the fountain available to them.
From Hell's Heart does land straight on to Joseph this time. They jump straight onto Best Choke, but he just kept alive by the Divine Interventions. Another one does come through after the Echo is pop, but Gabe Fizzle and Joseph still on top of him. He's still not going down. He ends up actually trading at the end of all of that. Flash X picks up the kill in the end. Old School is going to have to run away from Von C, but if they just want to end the game right here, right now, 2 members alive with Old School just recalling here that Kraken about only a 3rd HP left. Flash X is in the base, but Von C is going to be here to back him up.
Yeah, Von C coming in looking for that damage, but Flash is so low. I don't think TSM can stay to finish this unless if they get Old School down. Jaws, this is a risky call out of TSM.
A risky call, but it might pay off. I don't know. Divine Intervention's going to come through. They're actually dealing with Old School right now. Valkyrie's going to stun him up as well. That Kraken is still just nomming on that Crystal. Flash X now turns his attention, just trying to distract Gabe Vizzle and Joseph. I think this might be a Kraken finish. It is. TSM take game number 1. Cloud9 ignoring the Kraken in the end. Tried to just kill Von C.
Yeah, beautiful plays coming out of TSM there. It was a risky call, but it pays off. And TSM in the driver's seat at the end of that game, taking down Cloud9, their #1 nemesis, Jaws. That's gotta feel good to be a TSM fan.
Revenge from week 1 is exactly what they sought after, and is exactly what they got in game number 1. But game number 2 will come up very shortly. We're going to throw over to the analyst desks, and they're going to break down that game even more.